Okay, we're recording.
All right. So, Professor, this project is a news story for Professor Jeffrey Ames' class. And my partner and I, we are doing the effects of ChatGPT being an unfair advantage for college students. A lot of college students tend to use ChatGPT to record, to do essays, projects, and we want to know what do you think is unfair about that in a lot of cases?
Well, ChatGPT is being used by many, and so everybody has the option to use it. And there are major pros and cons about, ChatGPT. Some places are banning it. Some countries are banning it. I think I had a list of schools or states somewhere here that are thinking about banning it. I think one of them was New York City, for example. So, but on the other hand, it's here and it's here to stay. It's like a calculator. When I was, in school, a calculator was invented, and then we didn't have to use the slide rules anymore. We didn't have to do all that stuff by hand. But we learned how to do that before we had the calculator.
Right.
So what AI, which is, what ChatGPT is, it's spitting out information. It's just one source of information, though. So everybody has access. So then there are bigger issues, I think, at stake than whether or not it's fair that some students are using it and some students aren't.
So, as an unfair advantage, would you say it takes out the whole hard work ethic of college students, as they see it as an easier way to gain higher grades without having to lift a finger?
Well, yeah, it's certainly, we do fear that it threatens integrity. Um, it definitely encourages cheating and plagiarism. And so those students who use it and don't check those sources, they're actually not doing themselves any favor, and it could hurt them in the long run. So, I mean, it's very convenient. It's very accessible to everyone. Students are using it to generate answers to homework. Even, and I know that they are generating entire essays, and that they're claiming chat box writing is their own. I mean, you ask chat box any question, it gives you an answer. Uh, the problem is you don't know if that answer is right. So you're not only cheating, saying it's yours, but you're taking a big risk that your professor is smarter than whoever programmed that chatbot, GPT, and you get in big trouble.
Okay. Uh, has anyone in your class ever used an essay written by ChatGPT? If so, how did you figure out the difference?
Well, there are programs that we can use to check, and I think we're becoming, more concerned about this. Um, but the kinds of projects, as you well know, Jacob, um, I look for things that ChatGPT could not answer. So, if you take my classes, you're not going to get questions to standard, you're not going to get standard questions that you can answer without providing some real information that you had to gather yourself. And that's how I'm combating chat GPT. And I think others are wisening up as well.
Okay.
The thing about chat GPT is it doesn't provide sources, so you don't know where that information is coming, do you?
No, of course not. Earlier, you said it hurts students' their chances. Could you elaborate that further?
Well, it hurts their chances because they're relying on something that may or may not be true. And it also hurts their ability to go find answers for themselves um, from original sources. So anything that you learn, rule number one, when you do any kind of research, you use original sources. ChatGPT is not an original source. So how are you gonna quote ChatGPT? You know, your professors look up your cited information, and if it's not there, then they're gonna start wondering, well, where'd you get this? Um, so yeah, I think they're putting themselves. I have no problem with students putting in questions in ChatGPT and see what it spits out. It's just, might give them some ideas of where to go and what to think about. That's okay. And I think we have to acknowledge that in classrooms, but they need to check their sources just like you would if you were a journalist.
Okay. Uh, and do you think the number of students using ChatGPT has remained the same, lowered, or gone a little higher in the past few months?
Oh, I think it increases every month, you know. I mean, everybody knows about it. Second graders know about it. Yeah, it increases.
Or-
And it's kind of fun to see what Chat GPT will spit out. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But that doesn't mean you can skip your homework or you can cheat and say it's yours. And you always have to use more than one source. And that's a good thing about our students. They learn that in all our classes. And this can be there can be good things and bad things. This is not all bad, but as long as you are using it wisely and being critical. It's just like media literacy. You have to know where you're getting your information and whether or not it's true or whether it's a lie.
Okay. And final question to top it all off: what do you think the future of education will become if students continue to use ChatGPT?
Well, again, I think it's no different than other tools that have developed over the decades. And as we all become more savvy on using a computer, using a calculator, using other forms of AI, as long as we know what we're doing when we're using it. So just give you one example. I knew you were going to interview me on this, so it's been a while since I've even played around with it. So I typed in, I don't know if you know the story about the missing children in Hawaii since the
I've heard the story. Very upsetting.
yeah, it's very sad and very scary. And there's some controversy whether they've been found at all. So there's maybe 1,000 students, children missing from that fire. So I typed in what happened to the missing children in the Maui fire, and ChatGPT spits out all this information. About half of it was true, and then the last half made up some totally false story and presented it as true as well. So I mean, that's what you're getting. You're getting a toy. Chat um, GPT is a toy, and it can be fun, and it can give you good ideas, even as a journalist. If you're going to cover news and you want to ask ChatGPT a question, have at it. You'll get a lot of information spitted out, but you don't know where the information came from. You don't know if it's true. Uh, and so you take it with a grain of salt, and you always go and double check your information, just like you do when you interview somebody. You interview somebody, they can give you true information. They can be looking you dead in the eye and lie to you. You don't take what they say as given. You get another source of information. So, you know, if you use it and rely on it as absolute truth, then it's a problem. You're going to be plagiarizing, you're going to be spreading false information, you're going to be cheating, and you're going to be setting yourself up for failure. So, media literacy, that's the key. Know what you're using. Be skeptical, ask questions, and we do that well as journalists.
I understand. Well, Professor Powers, thank you again for taking the time out of your day to speak to me. I really appreciate it.
Jacob, you're welcome. It's a good topic. And just thinking about it, really clarifies what we all need to be aware of. So keep up the good work. It's great.
Thank you, Professor. That means a lot.
All right, you're welcome. So I will try to get this, I'll stop the recording now.